is the Military Kid Awareness Month. So I wanted to interview some military brats and ask them some quick questions about boob health or just in general. Welcome to Tits and Giggles. Thank you so much for coming on our show. I really appreciate it. Can you just give the viewers a little background about yourself and tell the viewers who you are?
Nicola Daniels, and I was born in Germany. And I've been to Georgia, Washington. Oh, I live in Washington now. I've been to California, and I lived in Germany twice. I currently live in Washington State with my husband, and I have a almost 3-year-old son.
Okay, well, we met in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and we lived in, it was kind of like a cul-de-sac thing, right? Like you lived on one side, and then like it was like on this side, and I lived like over here, and then our moms were friends, and our dad, I can't remember if our dads were in the same company or not, but I know they knew each other too. But our moms were really, really good friends, and we played together. Like I should have like found some old pictures of us.
Right, we could definitely put that up.
But yeah, so we went to school together. So and then we ended up following each other like to Fort Lee and I think Fort Bragg, and then y'all went to Germany. But yeah, so we've been friends for a long time, like over 20 years. So.
How was it growing up, like because we're military brats, so we lived all over the place. So.
I think like a lot of people were like fascinated because I was like, and everybody thought I was older than I actually was. So they were like hitting on me, and I'm like in 7th grade. I don't know why you're talking to me. Like, so it was definitely like people thought I was older, and I think. Even like kids that were around my age, like I remember Schweinfurt Middle School specifically, like kids would definitely be like trying to touch me, and it was there were things that happened that like when I look back on it, I'm like, I probably should have told somebody.
So you know how it is when our parents are going all the time. It's sometimes it's hard to connect with our parents and talk to them about different issues because everything is always moving.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I think they were like definitely conservative.
I'm tired of the church.
And then, my mom and dad were definitely like, and they're Christian, so it's like, there's just certain things that women shouldn't talk about openly versus, what I think that we shouldn't be too scared about, like it shouldn't be taboo anymore. And I think it kind of like speaks to who we are, like. Or for me anyway, like it made me a little bit more reserved as an adult.
I would say like I literally cannot help my boobs. Like when people, because I'm 5 foot and all you see is boobs probably when you first see me. And so it's really like I can't help, like no matter what shirt I wear, no matter what clothing item I wear, you're going to see them. So but I wouldn't say that they were conservative. Maybe they were concerned, but I wouldn't say they would be like, don't wear that. I don't remember that being a thing, but also they probably were more aware of like, oh, she probably shouldn't wear that. But I got to choose what I wore. I think I was probably self-conscious myself because of what I was getting attention for in general. So I was probably more self-conscious than they were.
So, can you describe your boobs growing up versus your boobs now?
I really started kind of early. So I think it was about 4th grade. But like as I've gotten older, I think they like kind of fluctuated because like when I was active, then they were a lot smaller. But then when I stopped being as active, like, cause I ran track and stuff. So, it was kind of like a normal size, like maybe like a B, but then like after I got older, then I wasn't as active anymore. And then I had like my child, so it was like they got a little bit bigger. So
kind of stayed the same as I got older until after I had my son, but they've always been like the biggest thing on my body.
With the baby, with your son, so are they huge now, or did they go back down?
Oh.
What size do you mind me asking you? Are you now?
I wear a 44K.
A K? I thought I was big. I'm an H cup. I thought I was huge. Do you consider your parents as strict? Were they like very strict, regarding, a lot of, we have like that stigma, military parents have that stigma of, just being hardcore. 8 o'clock, you got to wake up at 6 o'clock as a family. Everything has to be this in this order.
The second time we went to Germany was with my mom. She just wanted to take her job to Germany.
Oh, wow.
And so, but she was a single mom. So there was definitely like things that weren't said. And we didn't have that open relationship where we could talk about, sexual things or whatever. Like it wasn't open like that. And she was too busy working to like actually pay attention, I would say. So.
I would say yes. It was just kind of like, well, like, like my dad was just like, it was never a question. Like, we're not talking about this. But
right.
With my mom, like, she would like talk about it, like, but more like in a generic fashion, but never get like super deep about it. But I think it also has to do with like how open your family is too. So we weren't like the kind of family that discussed things like that out in the open. It would just kind of be like, oops, okay, awkward moment. Let's just talk about it. Like, as I got older, it became easier to like talk to her about it. Then she started giving me like, hey, make sure you eat this, not that. Hey, make sure you wear this, not that, to keep yourself like, better, I guess, educated on how to take care of your breast. So, especially now, since like now I have a baby and stuff, like she's definitely like now more open to talk about it. But when I was younger, especially like moving around so much, it was just more like, okay, let's just get to where we need to go. And a lot of stuff just kind of like stayed under wraps, I think.
And can you describe some of the cultural trends? Because, we have traveled across the world and different states in terms of boob sizes.
I would say Germany, like they're more open. Like when we go to pools that are like on the economy, as you would say, like they were more open and you could wear whatever, you could be naked, like even the men, like it wasn't a big deal. Here, like you need to cover up, you need to have on a certain amount of clothing, or you look a certain way, or they perceive you a certain way. So I think Germany is just more open with their sexuality. I don't think so. When I lived in Georgia, I was young. I'm assuming maybe it's different culturally depending on where you live, whatever you want. But that's only what I see on TV. I don't know if that's a real thing in Georgia.
And I think because if you look at like how women were in the 90s versus now, it's like a huge contrast. Like then it was like petite bodies, not as, shapely that much. But now it's like totally different. I lived in North Carolina, Virginia, and then Texas. So I noticed like in Virginia, like it was kind of like, that was like a good thing. Like to have like bigger breasts. But then it's like when I moved to Texas, it was like you have to be like more well-rounded. It was more, then it became more about like the butt. So it was just kind of, I feel like it was kind of different in some aspects. It could have just been my personal experience, and then like, traveling to Puerto Rico, where my dad's family is from, it's definitely just kind of like, I think a preference thing.
That's a good place. I just feel like, with bras, like in America, like everything is like so small. It's so small. Victoria's Secret. Yeah. And it's like when you go, the people overseas, I know the people overseas got huge boobs. Yep. I had no idea that they boobs is huge overseas because all I get is European bras.
It's crazy to think that like they are actually accepting of that. It's like you could tell the difference. Like they're open with their sexuality more. They're also more open with like, obviously, like everybody's not made to be like this small, petite. Everybody's not gonna have boobs like that. So Victoria's Secret is supposed to be the place, but I cannot. They be trying to, like when I was younger, they tried to fit me. I'm like, girl, there is no way.
Can't. When I was young too, I mean, my boobs didn't get huge until I got to college. But when I was in college, I was like, this is not for me. They talking about you a double D, triple D. And I'm like, this ain't no trip. My boobs keep going over the bra. Yeah, and that's how I realized I had to go to a specialist, specialty person. And then they fit me at first. It was like, you're an F. And then it kept going bigger and bigger. I thought I was big, girl. You at the end of the, what was you again?
I'm old.
42. What?
44K.
A B C D E F G H I J K. Girl, you slowly but surely, girl, about to get to all the way.
You see is boobs when you see me. That's it. So I can't hide it. It's not like I can be like, let me wear a bigger shirt, and I'm gonna look like a balloon. Like,
Girl,
yeah, baby.
you shop at Bros.
So there's a place called Judy's that's located in Washington. That's where I get mine from. But also Bare Necessities.
Me too, girl. You know, because that's a lot of European stuff. You know, we military brats, so we understand. Tell your mama to watch the show. Maybe she'll see what you talk about.
Maybe.
She'll see what you're going through, you know. Lord Jesus. Because, girl, your back hurt? Because I my chest be hurting sometimes. For real. But thank you so much for coming on the show. Tell your friends.
Thank you for being a friend.
Oh, yeah.
Travel down the road, back again.
Hey, so we started from the bottom, now we're here, girl.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
Pal and a confidant.
This is my part right here. Ooh, oh. If I
need everyone to
knew,
live.
new. The biggest gift, the biggest. Yeah, thank you for being my friend. Oh, yeah.
Is your husband in the military or no?
Yep, he was a military brat too.
Oh, wow. How did y'all find meet each other?
We just happened to go to the same church when I was 23, he was 19.
Oh, wow.
He was young.
So you robbed the cradle, girl. He was young. I don't know why. I go to church. Ain't nobody at my church but the pastor. He the only man, girl. He the only man at my church. But everybody else senior citizens. Lord. You know, I've been doing virtual service because you never know. I may meet somebody in the comments, girl.
That's true. That is true.